Warning, high winds approaching, water level rising, temperature increasing, voltage overloading.
Before we begin, thank you very much to Rip Jazz. Oh, wait. For joining the Patreon campaign, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much for the top tier contribution. You are getting a special video by your request. You've already sent it in. I don't know why I'm telling you, other than as a cheap way of telling people that's what they get for a top level Patreon. But thank you very much for doing so. If I'm a little bit disheveled or if I'm a little bit worn out, I apologize. I am a little bit run down as I've had a very long, busy, fun weekend. And I'm right off the road and coming right back to you because we cannot miss a news roundup, especially when we have Liokaiser to talk about. As of this recording, 28 days remain in the campaign. We are currently up to 13,437 backers, which means Deathcobra is officially unlocked. Frankly, the way this toy was priced, I kind of figured they were expecting Deathcobra to be unlocked no matter what. Because if you break it down, 7 Voyagers come to about $42 a pop when you break down his $300 price point. That's not terribly far above the $35 price point that we're already getting for a Voyager class toy. And these do have to do a lot for a Voyager class, aside from the combination gimmicks, but also the Breastmaster gimmick. Chest Master, what? I hate the name changes. There's so many better names they could have come up with. But point being, we are getting Deathcobra. It is official, and I am so excited. Like, this is such an obscure character with such a cool design, and he's going to get a toy. It's awesome. You think back in the day. You think back in the day when they just had to create a space filler just so they could have a Hellbat episode in Victory. They just came up with this guy just to kind of fill space and be kind of like a looming threat thing. No one ever expected him to get a toy. Someone just made a cool design, and now it's going to be a toy, long after it was never meant to see the light of day. But yeah, we've seen him before. He can form a shoulder cannon, so all 7 members can combine. It's a cool way of using him. He is a very blocky helicopter, but considering we're not really concerned with real-world accuracy when it comes to the Liokaiser team, I don't think that's really a issue. It's just how he ends up being. He's a cargo helicopter. Let's call it that. And yeah, it's just such a cool design. I've always really liked Deathcobra's design. And yeah, simple transformation for his Breastmaster to be a snake. Yeah. Oh, it's such a cool design. I am so happy. Yeah, we got 28 days left to get the next 2 stretch goals. We always hit the stretch goals. We always do. So we're going to get everything. But we'll sit and wait. We'll keep reporting back. I'll let you know when everything is officially unlocked. And until then, we do have the hype material behind Skyhawk and getting a close-up look at his digital renders. Skyhawk looking pretty good. He definitely seems like he can transform a little bit more than Leozak can. Of course, he doesn't have to be a torso. And I really like how the toy overall looks. Like, the proportions are pretty good. I like the high rise on the shoulders. That's kind of a touch that I like design-wise. His Hawk partner looks pretty good, folded up as a torso armor there. And, of course, very Laserbeak-esque in the beast mode. But you know what? We will accept it. Yeah, it's just such a cool... I really like the breast force. I really like this team. I really like Liokaiser's team. It's just such a cool set of characters. I'm so eager for this. I'm so excited for this toy. But if you want to spend that much money a little bit early, we have a new Trypticon on the way. Or rather, we have a repaint of the previous Trypticon on the way. I've got a pre-order in on mine because, this is hitting me way harder than the original color scheme did, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. I don't know if I really need to spend that kind of money. But we do have a full in-hand gallery of the new look cartoon accurate Trypticon, and looking really good. Yeah, I like the brighter color on top of the darker plastic. Like, the cartoon accurate hits my nostalgia a lot harder because I never really experienced the toy as a kid. No one had it when I was a child, so I never really got to see it in person. All I really know him from is from the cartoon. And yeah, it looks and works really, really well. I don't want to be swayed to spend $200 just because, ooh, pretty paint job. But I'm leaning. I know this, I think, is going to be a curious topic to see how many actually go for the upgrade. Let's talk some more expensive repaints. MPG Lift Ticket and DK2 Guard are now in hand, so you can have your own Diaclone versions of Hoist and Ironhide, if you so choose. I've never really been into the Diaclone side of the Transformer repaints. It always just kind of felt like an excuse to repaint some figures that otherwise they wouldn't be able to. But I know Diaclone collectors, no shame to that. No shame to that. But also, that Ironhide mold's so good. If you have not had an opportunity to mess around with that Ironhide mold, yeah, like, even if it's in, like, dark black Ironhide colors, I would still recommend it. Because it's still a very, very good toy. And having Trailbreaker, I would say the same goes for Hoist as well. Or, I guess in this case, Lift Ticket. So, awesome. Very cool. And, Ironhide mold does not look bad in the black and the red. Like, it's weird that they threw the Diaclone tampography in there. But I guess that's, to be accurate. So, and it does separate them more from Ironhide rather than just being like a inverted paint job. Going with that as a face design is interesting. That's based off of the sticker. So, keep in mind, that face paint there is based off of the sticker that's on G1 Ironhide. So you can swap that face in. If you have the original Ironhide masterpiece, you can swap that face in and actually do that. It will look horrifying, but you can. And a little bit of chippage already. Ugh, there's a lot of... It's got to be a ton of paint on this thing. But yeah, the color scheme doesn't look bad. Like, if you're into your Diaclone stuff, like, good gets. Because the both are very, very good molds. Moving in, another expensive figure. I had a pre-order for this. I had a pre-order for this out of Japan, so I could have had it early, but I've got trips to afford. One I just got back from. This one, oh my god. So before I sat down, before I started recording, I actually watched a video a friend of mine sent me of like how this thing transforms, and it feels very third party. It feels like Takara pulling third-party transformation stuff on a like a normal Transformer. It's crazy. But yeah, it's so much more complicated than I thought. Adamus Machina, Rodimus, IDW style. And yeah, here's the thing. When I look at that vehicle mode, like, I see the shoulders, I see the chest, I see the back legs, and I see the arms. And in my brain, I go, that doesn't look all that complicated. But I saw the transformation on this, and it's absurd. It's ridiculous. But unfortunately, because, I have trips to afford, I had to push mine back. There it is compared to the Flame Toy version. Yeah, it's hard for me to tell. So the one on the right is the Flame Toy. The one on the left is the actual Transformer. If you want to be able to tell them apart very quickly, aside from little things like brighter gold paint and orange on the shoulders, for instance, look for the hinges in the forearms for the guns. Point being, they look very, very good. They look very, very similar. They actually did a pretty good job replicating the look. Because remember, the whole idea behind this was not to just emulate the IDW Rodimus toy, or IDW Rodimus design. It was to emulate the Flame Toys design. Like, they actually licensed their take on it in order to make it transform. That's why you have the exaggerated spoiler, because that's not an IDW Rodimus thing. That is a Flame Toys thing. Yeah, really cool job. Like, I'm so excited to get mine. Yeah, I wish I could have swung my original pre-order, but I'm content to wait. I'm content to wait because it does look like it's going to be absolutely worth it. More in-hand shots of Studio Series Q for those still waiting to finish their Dark of the Moon collections. I've talked about this toy before. We've had other in-hand shots. For me, I don't feel like it's painted enough to really draw my attention, even if I was still buying the movie designs. It's at very least an interesting one. You know, they're trying to replicate that movie look as much as possible with the blue hair. I can see where some of his articulation looks like it's going to be a little bit odd. You can see the ball joints in the elbows. I'm not seeing anything in the wrists, though, so I guess the ball joint is just sufficing for wrist rotation as well. And that you got an awkward bend in there, too, which I assume is part of transformation. Yeah, vehicle mode looks fine. You know, it's kind of a plain car, but it looks fine. Yeah, for me, this is just coming down to, like, he's got so much detail going on and very little paint to bring it out. Like, that's my takeaway for the toy itself, which is a shame, because, like, otherwise it might have been an interesting little toy. Otherwise, I don't know, it's just too much of that flat gray showing. Like, I wish they'd broken the parts up a little bit more and just, like, if not painted, like, hard molded. You know, just so this looked a little bit more layered and had a little bit more going on. A customizer is going to go nuts on this, but for me, buying it right out of store, probably going to be a pass for me. I don't know. Studio Series toys getting a little budgeted, I think. Alright, let's move into the licensed toys for a bit. Yellow Park's Mirage in their AMK Pro line. These are, the AMK Pros are, you know, far more complex. They have die-cast parts. They come with a big display stand, a lot of extra swappable components. And, yeah, they look amazing. I really like Movie Mirage, and I really do not like the fact that none of his toys really capture him well. But this is far enough after the movie that they can get all the details correct. They're not relying on, like, pre-movie, like, design element stuff. This is just the official design, the final version in the movie, and they've had enough time to perfect it and sculpt it really, really well. And yeah, they're not skipping on the paint in the least. This thing is slathered in paint and loaded with articulation points. Yeah, it's a really good look. It's really, really good looking. I don't buy many non-transforming things. Look at the difference. Look at how different. The Studio Series toy isn't even close. It's not even close. Like, you change the colors on there, and I wouldn't even be able to tell it was ever supposed to be Mirage. But yeah, like, this is why non-transforming things, especially for the movie lines, are so important, because capturing the movie accurate detail and making it transform sometimes is impossible. You know, you have to accept that they're going to be just really good action figures if you want them to look really, really good. If you really like Mirage in the movie, and I really did like Mirage in the movie, this is the only way to get a good representation of it. Not a transforming toy, unfortunately. I think that's one of the biggest problems the toy lines have, is like that disconnect between the toy design and the movie. It's why the Bayverse, design style needs to go away. Y'all didn't watch Transformers 1. We could have had it go a different way. More on the high-end action figure line. MDLX is showing off their next version of their Optimus Prime mold, and this is the sleep mode. It's another dead Optimus, which makes it look very weird when you're standing it up to pose. Yeah, Zombie Prime. Here shown handing off the Matrix when he's already dead. It's always funny to me when they actually produce something like this and they go like, oh, it's sleep mode. Is that like we're officially just calling it sleep mode now? Because I got news for you. Like, I can't go to Optimus Prime, shake his mouse, and he just comes back to life. That's not how that works. But for those with a little bit of a morbid taste, yeah, it's available. It's a thing. Okay, last week we looked at some previews for Blokees' new Galaxy version Defender Wave 2, the smaller ones that we reviewed previously on this channel. But now we have full shots of everything, including this gold let's see, Golden Lagoon inspired Soundwave. We have the Metallic Chase Starscream. We have Bone Crusher. They're in his vehicle mode. And they're Hook in his vehicle mode. So, at this point, I would like to make everyone very aware of the port on the front of Hook and the port in front of Hook, and the fact that he has a windshield wiper on the side window, not the front window. So yeah, they are officially teasing that we are going to get a Devastator out of this. This is how we're going to get Blokees Devastators out of the vehicle mode versions that come out of the Defenders series. Okay, and here we have the original one I thought was Diaclone Ironhide. No, it's Shattered Glass. Now it's large enough that I actually see the purple Autobot logo in the middle. Which again, like they're doing, I like seeing Shattered Glass working its way into lines like this because, you know, it's a great chance to reuse some molds, but also it's a way of capturing like there's not a whole lot of ways to get a large collection of Shattered Glass stuff. So I would like to see it take off in one of these little toy lines. There's your standard Starscream, looking pretty good. Your white Ultra Magnus. We've talked about the Optimus molds, and it's a good one. We have, you know, a metallic Bug Bite, a metallic Shattered Glass Bumblebee, which looks wicked. Not my preferred Shattered Glass Bee, but, you know, I'll take it. Wheeljack looking pretty good. Really like how he turned out. Inferno as well. There's the car mode Bumblebee. That's in Wave 1, but in translucent. Now it's in Wave 2, and it's actually looking more animated style with the one stripe down the front. Though the taxi cab pattern on the side, that's different. That's unique. Official promo shots, looking pretty good. Do we have anyone else? We have Inferno in his vehicle mode. You can even see his arms molded into the back. Nice, nice. Standard Bumblebee. It's nice to know that like the stuff that was in like metallic or translucent some waves will come out as normal in others. That way you don't have like an oddball out of the collection. Oh, by the way, Devastator tees up top. Yeah, there's your big chase, which is Starscream with all of his coronation parts, which is really cool to get in such a small scale. And there's your Bumblebee, looking far more modern with his Energon weapons and his door wings. Yeah, they're just doing good on these. They're just doing really good on these. Like, I have done videos for Blokees, you know, like that's in partnership. But I've also bought a bunch just for myself, just to complete collections. Really good to see that they're still going and still releasing some cool stuff. We got a rumor here now. Hasbro is apparently partnering with the developer of Space Marine 2, Saber Interactive, for a AAA level game based on a tentpole IP. Now, the tentpole IP is not named. We do know that with Reactivate Deactivated, that they will be looking for someone new to hold the Transformer license, but we also know that that they also want another Baldur's Gate. So it's interesting to see what it's going to be. It's a toss-up between D&D and Transformers right now. It's up to Saber Interactive to actually deliver and actually make the announcement when they are ready. But fingers crossed we actually finally get a good Transformers video game. Because the last one we had is not even available to buy anymore, which is unfortunate. If you want to experience Transformers Armada, you can now purchase the entire season on Amazon Prime Digital for Season 1 and 2. Yeah, if you're just curious about the series. I will always point out with stuff like this, it's available for free on Tubi as well. So check on Tubi first, see if it's still playing there. And if it's not, and if you really want to just have like a digital copy you can watch anytime. Yeah, now it's available. Let's see. And then we will end off with some official artwork being shown off for the first time. So this is the evergreen art that Hasbro has been using since late 2016. It was posted by Josh McLaughlin. Irish name. Throwing me off. But, yeah, there's usually a contract involved when an artist does work for Hasbro, and they have to wait for that contract to expire before they are officially allowed to show off what they worked on, which I really don't like. Hasbro does it so that nobody poaches their artists. But I really do wish they would do better at crediting the people who actually do this kind of work for them, because this is really good artwork. This looks really, really good. You know, and they just now got to show it off, which is kind of a shame. So, yeah, huge credit. This looks fantastic. But glad they at least to get to announce it eventually. And with that, we're done with the news roundup. That's everything you need to know that happened in the last week of Transformers. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.